Hello everyone. Welcome to our very first session of Compassion Camp. For those of you who may not know me, my name is Marcia Carothers and I'm the Director of Christian Education here at Greenfield Hill Congregational Church. This is a very different way for us to do Vacation Bible School. So I thought I would tell you a little bit about how it's all going to work. In today's session, we are going to talk about how compassion helps us to see and to welcome. When we gather around the table, we accept one another just like God accepts each of us. In a few minutes, Alida Ward, one of our amazing pastors here at Greenfield Hill Church, is going to share our Bible story with you. After the Bible story, there are several activities that you can do at home to help you think about and remember this special story. All of you should have one of these home supply kits. You either picked it up here at church or we delivered it to you. So there's a few things that you will need out of your kit for today's session. One of the first things is the at the table image, we call it. It's a picture. It's a little picture that you can color and then you cut it out. And once you have it cut out, you can add it to the ribbon banner, again, that's in your kit, with a little hook to help you hang it up, and you can put it here at the top. Each day, you're going to add to your banner until at the end of all of the sessions, you'll have 5 different pictures about the different stories that we shared together. Another thing that's in your kit is a poster. Now my poster is a little bit bigger than yours. Yours is a little smaller, but it's the same picture. I went ahead and started coloring mine a little bit to give you an idea of what we were going to be doing. But in this picture, there are a lot of little pictures, and each day there'll be some suggestions of things for you to hunt for and find in the poster. You can color those things once you find them. You can put a circle around them. You can put an X on them if you're really tired of coloring, which can happen. However you want to do it, because it's your poster. Again, if you do decide to color at the end of all 5 sessions, your poster will be finished as well. Another thing that's in your box are some supplies to make today's craft. We're going to make centerpieces for our tables. You have a jar and you have some things to decorate it with. I chose just to put some stickers on my jar to create a vase, which is a container we use to put flowers and pretty things in. You could go outside and collect things from nature to put in your vase if you would like. It doesn't have to be flowers. It could be shells, it could be rocks, it could be something that you find that you just think is pretty and you'd like to use for your centerpiece. Do remember though that if you want to pick some flowers, you need to check and have permission to do it before you just pick them. I chose to just cut some flowers out of paper and I taped them to some pencils to make stems, really simple. And I put those in my vase. Now I think I need some more. It's not quite full enough, but I think you get the idea of what you can do. I'd love to see what you decide to do. Please send me a picture once you're finished. I'd love to see it. Another thing is in today's session box or activity, you know what it's like when you come home from school at the end of the day and everyone wants to know what you did and if you had fun and all those things. And you usually say things like, we didn't do anything or nothing. This helps. It's a card that you can cut out, or you don't have to cut it out. But when someone asks, you can use it with your family to talk about today's session. There's some questions down here. It's called the Daily Examine, which kind of sounds like a test. Don't worry, it's not a test. I hope you enjoy using these. And there's one last thing that you could do today. In your kit, you'll find 2 cards, just alike. I went ahead and colored one of them to give you an idea. But the idea is that you color the pictures similar so they make a pair or a match. And then you cut them out and you can play games with them. You can play memory game. I think you probably all know how to play memory, where you put the cards on the table face down and you try and make matches and you try and see how many pairs you get, and the person with the most pairs wins the game. That's one way you can use these cards. Another way is you can again put them face down on the table and you can take turns drawing them. And you draw one and then you try and make that same expression or emotion on your face, and the others try and guess what emotion you're sharing. I bet you can think of some other ways to use these cards as well. And when you're not using them, there's a bag to keep them in so that you don't lose one. So that's it for today's session. And now it's time for our Bible story. So I hope you enjoy it, and I can't wait to see you for our next session. Bye.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to tell you a story. It's a story about a guy, this guy, and the pigs, those pigs, and actually a whole lot more. You see, this guy here has a dad and a brother. And now I'm going to take you back to the very beginning of the story so that you can find out how he ended up hanging out with pigs and what happened next. So let's go back to the very beginning of the story. Once there was a man who had 2 sons. One day the younger son came to his dad and said, "Dad, I want you to give me all my money now. I'm going to go spend it and have some fun." So the son took the money and left. The dad was so sad to see him go. That younger son traveled a long, long way until he came to the big city. With all his money, he started buying new clothes, meeting lots of rich people, spending all his money. Until one day, he was out of money. He didn't know what to do. He had spent all the money his dad gave him. So he went to a farmer and said, "Please, can you give me a job? I'd even take care of your pigs." And that's exactly the job he got, taking care of those pigs. Remember them? He was so sad and so hungry and so poor. And one day he decided, I need to go back to my dad and tell him I'm so sorry and see if he'll take me back. From a long way away, his father saw him coming, and his heart was filled with compassion. He was so glad to see him. He threw his arms around him and said, "My son, who I thought was lost, is home." And he told everyone, "Let's throw a big dinner party." But you know who wasn't so happy about that? The other brother. He was pretty crabby. He said, "Dad, I've been home and working hard and helping out, and now my brother, who spent all your money, comes home and you throw him a big party?" And his father said, "Son, you're a wonderful son. I love both my sons, but rejoice with me because your brother who was lost is now found. Come to the table, son. There's a place for you. There's a place for everyone. There's a place for all of us to celebrate." So now you know the story of this boy and how he ended up working with the pigs, and about his father who was so full of love and compassion that he welcomed him back home. That story is called the story of the Prodigal Son. And it's one of the favorite stories that Jesus told because it reminds us of how much compassion God has for us and how much compassion we can have for each other. I hope you enjoyed it. Have fun with your activities.